Welcome to Origin Tech Media. Right now, we are looking at discovering and maximizing your potentials. My name is Olusegun Bangbade. Everyone has one or more potentials, at least one. There is no human being that does not have at least one potential. God has not created anyone without at least one potential. So you have to believe in yourself that you have potentials. Now, how do you discover your potentials? There are some ways you can discover your potentials. Number one, what are your interests? In the passage of time, you will discover your area of interest. You will discover your natural interest. You see, children, as they grow, they exhibit their interest in one area or the other. For some, they sing and they just love songs and they just love singing. And before you know it, they are able to sing, and that could be something they work on later in life. You find some other people, they look at people treating people, and that catches their interest. And before you know what is happening, they go ahead in the medical field. Some of them ends up as doctors, some as nurses, and different kind of medical areas. You find some other people, their interest is in engineering, and even as small as they are, you see them trying to hold screwdriver and trying to open one thing or the other. What I'm saying is that everyone has that natural interest in one thing or the others. Number two, what are your abilities? What are the things you find yourself comfortable at doing? You need to identify those abilities. You need to work on those abilities. Some people, in passage of time, through one means or the other, they see themselves excelling in some certain abilities. Some maybe is in ability to talk, some maybe is in ability to do one thing or the other. You need to identify things you can do effectively, and by identifying those things, you'll be able to discover your potentials that way. For some others, is skill acquisition of skills. Through training, we can acquire skills, and as you acquire the skills, you develop them, and before you know what is happening, you discover your dream. There are some others, it is being guided by a mentor. There are people that they are guided by mentor, and as they are guided by mentors, they are able to follow that way and they excel. An example of such is Tiger Woods. His father started training him on golf at the age of 2-3, and he developed along that line and excel. So there are people that are being guided by a mentor, and through that they are able to discover their potentials and maximize it. Others look at problems in society, and looking at problems in society fire them up at providing solutions to such problems, and at the end of the day they are able to realize their potentials that way, and they are able to run with it. After discovering your potential, you will need to develop them. How do you develop your potentials? Number one, through more learning. Today, there are books that can be consulted, and when you read these books, it gives you more learning on your areas of potentials. The more you read, the more you know. Number two, through training. We're talking of more learning. You can go for training, and each training will add something to your learning. We also have the internet as a means of learning. There are so many materials on the internet today, through Google, through YouTube, and through that you can develop your potential. You can maximize your potential. The more you learn, the more you know, and through that you can maximize your potential. That is on more learning, through more learning. Number two, thinking on how to improve. Through critical thinking, many inventions and innovations has been gotten through much thought, critical thinking. The good thing about this is that everyone can think. Now apply it to improving what you are doing at the moment. If you look at what you are doing and you think critically about it, how can I improve this thing? Which area can I improve this thing? Your mind is there. Your thought is there. You will be able to identify areas that needed improvement, areas, what you can add to this, what you can add to this. Through critical thinking on how to improve, you can maximize your potential. And many things today are done that way. You find people thinking. They sit down and they think through, what more can I do? What more can I add to this thing to improve on it, to make it better? And something will strike their mind. So as that thing strike their mind, and then they adjust it, they add it to it, before you know what is happening, they make improvements. And when you even talk, like I said earlier, solving problems in society, so many problems has been solved through thinking. People, look at it, the observation, they think about it. Okay, if I do it this way, if I do it this way, what will be the result? And at the end of the day, they are able to improve or come up with something even new, and they maximize their potential. Another way we can maximize our potential, develop the potential, is through practice. Somebody said practice made for improvement. As you are practicing something, you are practicing it, you are able to improve on it. Another thing is through feedback. When you get feedback about a product or an idea, through that feedback, you can see areas that needed improvement. And as you see the areas that needed improvement, you improve as a result of that feedback. And by the time you are relaunching something that is now better, something that is now improved. And through that, you can maximize your potential. I believe you have been able to gain one thing or the other from what we are discussing at the moment. And should you need assistance, further assistance, you can contact us. Thank you for listening. See you in the next production.